Hello, it's the Ginger Man here. I'm in Glasgow. It's Friday, November 5th, bonfire night. But it is also COP26 and it's a day of big protests. So I've come through to Glasgow to check it out and see what is going on in a true Ginger Man way. I've already seen people kicking about. There's camera crews just in front of us. I don't know what they're up to. But it's all happening. This is going to be one hell of an episode, let me tell you that. So, COP26 Glasgow, show me what you got. Peace.
I'll turn on the camera, test my microphone, I'm firing up the podcast, sound waves coming to your home. Ginger Man with a can is here to make your day. Ginger Man with a can, I'd like to hear you say today.
This is the world, what it's going to look like. Are you going to be inside this?
Yes.
Amazing.
Ah, that's amazing. When are you doing this today?
No, it's a march here. The 20th.
We'll be marching with you. What's your name?
Yeah, man.
And
Good luck, hands. Keep up the good work.
Mara. Filming crew.
okay,
So we will see you there.
okay,
We've got
great. See
maybe
you.
4 years.
Well, she just passed us on.
I guess.
Keep it going, hands. Keep it going, man. Good work.
Sweet man.
Yes, I like that. Look at this. Me and hands. I love it, man.
There on the screen. All the walls are from Friday for Future.
That's far too late, man. You should have had this done on Monday. Aye, look how long we've got to go. Look how far that goes. In 5 to 11.
That's symbolic though for the
yeah,
government
no,
starting the
it's-
climate change conversation too late.
That's a metaphor.
That's a
for
metaphor.
today's for the actual climate change.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
not what we're in.
Look what we've got.
We're
This
too
is,
late.
this is what we've got to do. This is how much carbon we've got to capture and stop and get rid of. And these are our.
Do we have scissors to help?
I don't have scissors.
No, we don't walk about with scissors in Glasgow, mate. You get arrested for
You
that.
get arrested in Glasgow for scissors.
I tell you to do that
Yeah, why do we have to do this?
because it's too dangerous to take the scissors with.
What you
No,
do
why
with
are we making cuts? So why are we doing it?
Yeah, I should tell you. You know, you get one.
Okay.
Here,
Otherwise, I'd like to ask you if you go with us.
All right, that's fine.
one for you.
Right?
So I'm only doing half a job. Christ, so we've got another job after this job.
Yes.
On the
And.
A-R-N-D, and. A-R-N-D.
Ard.
And.
And.
Yes.
And. So here I am, Ginger Man with Arnd. And what he's done is this ball, he has walked from Germany in this ball to Glasgow.
Yes, that's the promise walk.
The Promise Walk.
I walked more than 1,500 kilometers and cycled with my wife and my son behind me.
Man, what a legend.
And take care. And we invited people to give promises for our future.
Yeah.
We all can make our earth healthy and successful. Everyone has
Everyone.
to give a little pleasure, a little promise, and to get awareness of our future.
Yeah, amazing, man. Amazing. You're inspiring. You're inspiring. I love what you're doing.
Thank you. Yes, let's
Peace.
go to Conscience Land.
Let's go to Conscience Land. I love it, brother. I love it.
This is a great one. So has he walked all the way through Germany?
Aye.
Yeah.
All the way from Germany.
hill down there is pretty steep.
Yes.
Yeah. And you won't break it.
So he's got German brakes.
What can I take this?
Like we stumbled onto some greatness. Dude, I love it. You didn't have such skill.
This is- What do we want? Climate change. When do we want it? Hans. I watch the Mercs and the Porsches and the...
Polestar too. Electro.
This is as good as it gets. We're literally walking through the streets of Glasgow. We've just arrived. There's a German man in a metal cage, like a hamster, walking down the street in Glasgow. That's what we're talking about. We want change. And this is how change happens. This could be the future. Instead of having petrol cars, we could be going around in these metal cages. Could you imagine turning up to work in one of them?
Hey, protest. Take this guy in a big metal cage, walking down the hill in a metal cage. Like a giant, genuine hamster. Coming out now.
He's out of his cage. We're helping.
Your coffee and you can.
You want to hold this and I'll help?
Yes, that's the symbol. We can all take care, and we have to do it together. Together, yeah. We need many hands. Many hands.
And who made it?
Yes, I'm
You made it yourself? Are you an engineer?
I'm an artist.
An artist?
Yes, making sculptures and art projects. That's the way I sometimes realize projects, like walking to the COP26 and make sure that people can take part.
Yeah.
Yes, you can roll, let it roll. Yes, use hands. Just that we all take care that it's not too fast, but that's good. You can roll.
We're marching. We're marching. We're doing live Ginger Man episodes right now at COP26 in Glasgow. We're marching amongst it. So here we are, just walking through the crowds on our way to, where are we heading?
George Square.
We're into George Square.
The Square of George.
And it's all really happening. We've had a little bit of a cam after the exciting drum circle. There was moments where I felt like I should be in the middle of it dancing, and I wanted to unleash myself, but I held back. So apparently Hans is up here, because I am missing him. He inspired me, man. He inspired me. Plus, I got a real sweat on. Like, I was just thinking, why am I so warm right now? And then I remembered that I lugged his very heavy metal balls down the hill.
About 10,000 people have joined this march through Glasgow. They say the promises made at COP26 just aren't enough.
Oh, there's Hans. There's Hans. He's real popular here. I hope he remembers me when he's more famous. Do you know what? It smells like the world right now. The colours of the world. Right. It's smelling everything. Update, Hans has flattened at least 300 people. Just carried right through the middle. Oh, I lost control! There's no planet B. But there is a planet C, apparently. Nurse the earth. The world is watching and waiting. Xavier White. We're just hustling and bustling our way through the crowds. I feel like we're getting a bit of congestion up this end because it's a camera crew. So the smart move's to cut in. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry guys. Climate action coming. Climate action coming. This? Why is the USSR flag?
Well, it's not just for the USSR, it's just for the cause, the Marxist
communism.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd happily fly the Chinese flag as well.
Climate action coming. Oh, I'm touching. So that's all good. We're good. Thanks, man, sir.
Justice! Justice!
Justice!
I'm gonna climb down right here.
No!
You're in Campbell, it's priced in.
Oh, there's a wee picture. There you go. Update, we've cut through some streets to cut into the top start head of the protest. Because Greta's doing a speech somewhere, and that's what everyone's leading up to. Imagine being an 18-year-old lassie, having thousands of people come to see you to do a speech. Mad time to be alive. Look at this. Oh, there's folk on the back of lorries. He's got a recovery truck. I want to get on that. There we go.
Somebody's born behind me, jumped up.
It's part of the press.
Guys, you need to get off your road!
Here comes the head of the march. Oh, sorry guys, I just squeezed my wee camera in. Keep up the good work, officers. Doing great.
Yeah, you are doing good work.
Thank you guys, doing great. Well done guys. Good job.
Thank you. Please. Guys, just move in a wee bit, please.
Doing a great job guys.
A lot of people come and move in a wee bit.
No worries, we're safe. We'll keep the people safe guys.
I know.
There we go. Here's the front of the line.
Stop.
Well done guys. Keep on marching. Where's Greta? Where's Greta? Greta! You're a legend!
Can you leave it back?
Greta! On yourself, Greta!
Move back, move back, move back, move back, move back.
Keep going. Just I
need the blue wristband.
Oh no.
No, please step out.
Alright, okay. Okay, we got moved out. We got out. Sorry, man. We got lost. That was fun. We got into Greta Thunberg's entourage, but then we got kicked out. after getting kicked out of Greta's entourage, we're back in amongst the peoples. But we're trooping on, we're going to go find her again.
Keep off.
Climate justice. What do we want? An interview with Greta?
It's a ginger man.
When do we want it? Now!
They're never letting you back in.
Never. Nah, man. I'm too boisterous. I'm a liability. Hey, you guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, it's not you, it's these people down here.
Ah, right. Oh, it's getting a bit busy. It's getting a bit busy. Purple trousers on.
Feel sorry for this car. It's gonna have a lot of scratches. There's space, people. Give us space.
Give them space.
Where?
Hey, listen, there's enough space for everyone to fight the climate. This is Greta Thunberg in the middle of the march.
Left a bit.
This is yes, I am the ginger man. That's my pledge. Greta, say hello to the ginger man. Greta, think about the gingers. Greta, the gingers. We're struggling with climate change because we're ginger. Things are getting a bit saucy here. I can smell herbs and spices. Greta's over there. She's still digging me. I'm absolutely burst from the hustle and bustle of the crowd. And it's going great, I feel. I can see my friends up there. I keep losing them. As the crowd is moving in some numbers. Sorry there.
Excuse me, darling.
I didn't know it was me. There's Greta. Manino, manana. How's the event going, guys? Good? Excellent, man. It seems like it's going well.
Oh, it's going alright.
Excellent, man. And if you don't want to be amongst the general hustle and bustle, you can actually come right to the front where the police line is and just have a casual saunter right in front of the main hustle and bustle. And the truth is, I don't know where we are in Glasgow right now. We're somewhere. We're just following the crowd like fish in the waves.
We're so lucky.
There's Greta Thunberg. What good angles we've got.
Greta Thunberg live on your TV, whoever's watching. Whoever's like, yes, yes. Top class, there you go, see. Queen. Go on, heads up! Shouldn't be there! Get smacked behind the camera. She wasn't a wee pal, I'd be so happy. That's such a lucky man. When you go, pal.
Give us a swear word!
She's met net zero! She's met zero!
So much. Like, there's persons here. Please give us a little bit of space.
Boy,
How did you get a job holding the rope?
Huh?
How did you get a job holding the rope?
We signed up early and we wanted to
Amazing! I want to be holding the
It's not too
rope.
great of a job, to be honest.
Hey, listen, you're doing a great job, alright? Keep up the good work. If you need me on the speakerphone, I'm here. I've got a booming voice. Some say I don't need a speakerphone. No? No? No one? Free of charge? I won't charge you.
What's that?
I'm saying I've got a really good voice for a speakerphone if you need me.
I just
Really booming.
don't
One
know
time, someone said it sounded like I'd swallowed a microphone.
Would it? Yeah, I don't know anything what's going on, so I'm not the guy to talk to.
Oh, you're just holding the rope?
I'm just holding the rope, man.
Oh, you're doing a good job, man.
Cheers.
Good job. Free power for everyone!
You making a YouTube video?
Aye.
What's your channel name?
Ginger Man with a cam.
Ginger what?
Ginger Man with a cam.
I'll subscribe.
Cheers, what about yourself?
Ginger Man with a cam.
Aye. It's not an OnlyFans, don't worry.
I'm not
But it could be if you want it to be. Boo the corporate overlords! Look at them! Look at them with their shirts and ties! Power to the people. People got the power. Oh, it's cool looking up on the hill, look. I've found Tuna again, he's alive. We thought we lost him. Oh, it's a Poochie protester.
Sorry?
I'm saying it's a Poochie protester.
What she wants is a future happy generation.
Hello, you're so beautiful. Yes, you are. Hello. Oh, sorry. Oh,
Sorry, she loves the tent.
yeah. Oh.
Protest, come down beside us.
Welcome to Glasgow. I don't know. It's getting loud. It's getting louder. To be honest, getting a bit lethargic in the legs now, but the spirit is still as strong. Says the bus is going to be in a minute, but that's bullshit. Buses are off. There's no bus here in a minute. Anyone waiting for the bus? It's going to be a while. Yes!
Cookie voice in the morning, that guy.
People got the power! He's got lungs.
Tell me, can you feel it?
phone. It's Greta. How many people do you think have peed themselves today?
Well, I don't know that.
Because there's no toilets and someone's been in the toilet. No?
Yeah, I guess there's parks all around.
Yeah, it's just a question. So we are arriving at George Square now. What a graft has been walking here, man. I'm knackered. It's been worth it though. What a vibrant and colourful experience this has been so far. And you can really feel the energy and the will of the people here. It's ferocious. We've got some speeches going on this stage up here. I'm still trying to find people. That's all good. It's all happening. It's vibrant, it's colourful, and that was a passionate speech.
I hope you always have in mind what countries like mine are facing every day. I hope you join the fight and stop the climate crisis, because we need for you to end what you started. And dear world leaders, I hope that you use the power that you have to make the right choices, because right now you're using it to spill blood in countries like mine. You have the responsibility and the privilege to end this. So what are you waiting for? Haven't you realized that we don't have more time? We can't handle it anymore. It's in your hands to change the world, but you're not doing it. We need a systemic change, because for us, people over profit, it's a need and not a choice. And no, nothing has changed. Everything is just getting worse. Start acting so we can have the chance to even dream of a tomorrow, because you owe it to us. Let us dream!
I ask you to look at Brazil. Our president, Jair Bolsonaro, is not here because he doesn't have the capacity to handle all of his lies. Because he's lying all the time. He's lying about Brazilian people. He's lying about our good preservation of our forest. Liar, liar, our forests are on fire.
We're just hanging out backstage with anyone who's anyone. Just all happening. There's Justice Claus. No, what's he? Not Justice Claus. Sustainer Claus. That's it. Sustainer Claus just to the right of us. He's quite a big deal around here. Alright, guys. Peace. There we go.
coming through. Did we get
Gunge the climate criminals.
Fora Bolsonaro!
Come on, Trump people. Hey, time's up for you, son. Climate criminals coming through.
Ooh.
They've dined out on fossil fuels for too long.
Ooh. They've got surprisingly young hands.
Climate criminals.
Murdoch, you give me a fiver.
1 minute. Yeah, thank you.
You didn't hear me. It's a hive activity back here. This helmet cam, Danny.
Haraki.
Behind every murder that happens in the Amazon, or that happens to every killing that happens to a land defender, there is a company behind that, there is a government behind that, there is a name behind that. US and European banks are every day financing and investing in the Amazon destruction. They're investing in the killing of the Amazon and in the killing of the people. There are people actually responsible for this, and we need to hold them accountable.
Tôi mong bên ghế phong ai avi, tôi mong bên ghế phong ai avi, tôi mong bên ghế phong ai avi, cảm ơn boni phong ai avi, cảm ơn boni phong ai avi. Na namente gokina mange, na namente gokina mange, na namente gokina mange, nenge tamanyunga hang a avi, nenge tamanyunga hang a avi, Importing and wadding, importing and wadding, importing and wadding, importing and wadding, what it be kiana wete, what it be kiana wete, monito me bien que, monito me bien que, monito me bien que, monito me bien que, what it be kiana wete, what it be kiana wete, da vamos tamini,
It's necessary to consider the technology of the peoples in the global south in different voice of a woman, LGBT, voice of youth, quilombolas, and the peripheral people. Environmental racism and climate racism affect all movements, affect all lives, and now the black people not silenced more. It's time to hear black voice here. This is a dream of Luther King. This is a dream of Malcolm. This is a dream of Lélia Gonzalez. This is a dream of Emicida, Zumbi dos Palmares. This is a dream of the black people in quilombos and favelas in Brazil. Decolonize your climate solutions. Decolonize your climate solutions. Decolonize your climate solutions. Climate justice without racial justice is new colonialism. Thank you.
Justice for Magdalena.
Yamit Alonso Silva Torres. He was defender of the Cocuy National Park, and he was assassinated in Boyacá last year. Justice for Yamit. Justice!
That their inactions are destroying the planet. We are seeing the impacts of the climate crisis. I come from Kampala, Uganda, a country that has one of the fastest changing climates in the world. And allow me explain it this way. Abantu bafa, ennimiro z'abantu ziggwawo, abaana tebakyagenda ku masomero. When I say this, I mean people are dying, children are dropping out of school, people's farms are being destroyed. Tetumanyi the kind of future we are going into. We are in a crisis. We are in a disaster that is happening every day. Ebyamaguzi by'abantu bigwawo, Amataba, mu Kampala, and different parts of the country. When I say that, I mean floods are ravaging different parts of Kampala, different parts of Uganda, and across the African continent. Historically, Africa is responsible for only 3% of global emissions, and yet Africans are suffering some of the most brutal impacts fueled by the climate crisis. But while the African continent, while the global south is on the front lines of the climate crisis, they are not on the front pages of the world's newspapers. We've seen activists from the most affected areas being erased from pictures, from conversations, and removed from rooms. But how will we have climate justice if people from the most affected areas are not being listened to? The climate crisis is here now, but the dry land can be glad again. The farms can blossom again. The animals can rejoice because there is water to drink. There is a loud singing in once parched lands. The pain and suffering is gone. There is a celebration of the people because the disasters are gone. Our history is visible. There is no fear of losing it. We won't have to just tell our children about our cultures because they will see and experience them themselves. We won't have to fight for limited resources because there will be enough for everyone.
Your wealth is built on the blood of our people. And we want change. We will not give up. We want justice for Ken Saro-Wiwa. You people have to be held accountable for the genocide and ecocide that you have been causing. We want justice for the people in Ecuador. Chevron, stop your lies. Free Don Donsinger, Stephen Donsinger, free him. You cannot keep on oppressing our people. You cannot keep on coming to our countries claiming that you are bringing development when all that you are bringing is devastation. You are poisoning our waters. I am here to defend my homeland today. The Kavango, the birthplace of modern humanity. The oldest DNA is in the Kavango. And yet COP26 is there whitewashing, cropping activists out of pictures. What's up with that? We can defend ourselves, and we will defend ourselves. And now I am going to teach you a chant from my homeland. Ihatu Sholola. Ihatu Sholola. Ihatu Sholola. Ihatu Sholola. Then again, COP26, please stop your bullshit once again. Thank you very much.
I am very, very excited to welcome Greta Thunberg.
It is not a secret that COP26 is a failure. It should be obvious that we cannot solve a crisis with the same methods that got us into it in the first place. And more people are starting to realize this. Many are starting to ask themselves, what will it take for the people in power to wake up? But let's be clear, they are already awake. They know exactly what they are doing. They know exactly what priceless values they are sacrificing to maintain business as usual. The leaders are not doing nothing. They are actively creating loopholes and shaping frameworks to benefit themselves and to continue profiting from this destructive system. This is an active choice by the leaders to continue to let the exploitation of people and nature and the destruction of present and future living conditions to take place. The COP has turned into a PR event where leaders are giving beautiful speeches and announcing fancy commitments and targets, while behind the curtains, the governments of the global north countries are still refusing to take any drastic climate action. And COP26 has been named the most exclusionary COP ever. This is no longer a climate conference. This is now a global North greenwash festival. A 2-week-long celebration of business as usual and blah, blah, blah. The most affected people in the most affected areas still remain unheard. And the voices of future generations are drowning in their greenwashed and empty words and promises. But the facts do not lie, and we know that our emperors are naked. To stay below the targets set in the Paris Agreement and thereby minimizing the risk of setting off irreversible chain reactions beyond human control, we need immediate, drastic, annual emission cuts unlike anything the world has ever seen. And as we don't have the technological solutions that alone will do anything even close to that, that means we will have to fundamentally change our society. And this is the uncomfortable result of our leaders' repeated failure to address this crisis. At the current emissions rates, our remaining CO2 budgets to give us the best chances of staying below 1.5 degrees Celsius will be gone within the end of this decade. And the climate and ecological crisis, of course, doesn't exist in a vacuum. It is directly tied to other crises and injustices that date back to colonialism and beyond. Crises based on the idea that some people are worth more than others and therefore have the right to steal others, to exploit others, and to steal their land and resources. And it is very naive of us to think that we could solve this crisis without addressing the root cause of it. But this is not going to be spoken about inside the COP. It's just too uncomfortable. It's much easier for them to simply ignore the historical debt that the countries of the global north have towards the most affected people and areas. And the question we must now ask ourselves is, what is it that we are fighting for? Are we fighting to save ourselves and the living planet? Or are we fighting to maintain business as usual? Our leaders say that we can have both. But the harsh truth is that that is not possible in practice. The people in power can continue to live in their bubble filled with their fantasies, like eternal growth on a finite planet and technological solutions that will suddenly appear seemingly out of nowhere and will erase all of these crises just like that. All this while the world is literally burning on fire, and while the people living on the front lines are still bearing the brunt of the climate crisis. They can continue to ignore the consequences of their inaction, but history will judge them poorly, and we will not accept it. We don't need any more distant, non-binding pledges. We don't need any more empty promises. We don't need any more commitments that are full of loopholes and incomplete statistics and that ignore the historical emissions and climate justice. Yet, that is all that we are getting. And no, that is not radical to say. Just look at their track record. They have had 26 COPs. They have had decades of blah, 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 and where has that led us? Nowhere! Over 50% of all our CO2 emissions have occurred since 1990, and about a third since 2005. All this while the media is reporting on what people in power say that they are going to do, rather than what they actually do. Time and time again, the media fails to hold the people in power responsible for their action and inaction. As they continue to expand fossil fuel infrastructure, opening up new coal mines, coal power plants, granting new oil licenses, and still refusing to do even the bare minimum, like delivering on the long-promised climate finance for loss and damage to the most vulnerable and least responsible countries. This is shameful. Some people say that we are being too radical, but the truth is that they are the ones who are radical. Fighting to save our life-supporting systems isn't radical at all. Believing that our civilization as we know it can survive a 2.7 degree or a 3 degree hotter world, on the other hand, is not only extremely radical, it's pure madness. Out here, we speak the truth. The people in power are obviously scared of the truth. Yet, no matter how hard they try, they cannot escape from it. They cannot ignore the scientific consensus, and above all, they cannot ignore us, the people, including their own children. They cannot ignore our screams as we reclaim our power. We are tired of their blah blah blah. Our leaders are not leading. This is what leadership looks like. Thank you for showing up, and see you tomorrow again at the march.
Thank you all so much for coming.
What a day! That was about what, 2 hours of speeches? An hour? 2 hours? It was about 2 hours, 2-3 hours of speeches we just went through. Greta came at the end. She was the crescendo. She was the final bit. I wonder where she stays when she's in Glasgow. Right, so all the marches are finished, the speeches are finished, and we're now making our way back to the car. And this is something they don't talk about when they set up these big marches and protests, is you're walking for about 10 miles away from where you started and you've got to go back that way. So we're just on the long, not so vibrant walk back because there's no singing and dancing and flags and whatnot. But anyway, that aside, what a day. I hope I've managed to capture some of the speeches and share some of the key moments of the day with you, because it's been a phenomenal day. What a gathering of people, ideas, minds, passion, and all of these people have something in common. We care about the earth and we care about life, and it was a beautiful day with a beautiful message, and hopefully the leaders in charge are going to start doing something about it. Yeah, we're all pessimistic against the leaders actually doing something, and Greta basically said that they're not doing enough, and COP26 is a greenwash from the global north. And that's yet to be decided. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks. But anyway, COP26, Glasgow, it's been a pleasure. Peace.
Yes, let's go to Conscience Land.
Let's go to Conscience Land. I love it, brother. I love it.